Hello, I'm Ami, the intuitive at Let Me See What We See. Thank you for listening, allowing me in your experience. Today's focus I'd like to give this season of body-mind relation awareness is the purpose-driven life bringing health on our path. The purpose-driven life approach bringing health on path. Sharing the information provided by Dr. Mona Lisa, medical doctor, physician, neuroscientist, psychiatrist from United States of America. She shared her practice as a doctor, information about the body-mind relationship, teaching us how our mind and non-physical part of our energy is related to our physical well-being. Learning about this information will give us an idea to become more aware of where we are, where you are, where I am at this point of connection, creating your life in each area of your life. So here's an opportunity for us to reconnecting ourselves. And this is my hope that together every week, taking the time for ourselves to become more aware of ourselves together. First off, I am having my favorite drink as an iced coffee in my glass today. So if you can, get your favorite drinks and relax and allow yourself to become notice, enjoying, connecting to yourself. I believe taking this time for ourselves is one of the most delicious things that we can do for ourselves. Normally, when we are living in the current developed modern society, and we make ourselves available for others, for our work, for our customer, for our client, for our bosses, for our people, for our family, for our loved ones. What about ourselves? What about for you? We need the balance, and I definitely need the balance, and we need to take time to connect to ourselves, because I believe you are the most important person in your life. And let me remind you your personal power and importance of taking the time for yourself. Why I'm doing this is that, I joined the workshop for creative people in Hollywood, California. It started since, when was it? The first attendance was 2005, so over a decade ago. My intention was to make myself available for what came to my life and getting my attention. So that particular workshop, weekly class in Hollywood, came to my attention, and one of my closest friends encouraged me. Not only just one person, it's synchronistically, one of these moments when you get the book as a gift from your friend, and then all of a sudden other people came in and make a comment of that, and you have no idea what about it, and they have no interest, but all of a sudden you're surrounded by that information. Are you familiar with one of these experiences? That was becoming the connection to this particular workshop that I decided to be part of. And that was a 3 month, 12 weeks. Each week, 3-4 hours, we worked on ourselves. And I was with no expectation what I was gonna get from there, but I just committed myself to be part of there, no matter what. And looking back, that there isn't so many exercise and experience that I explored in the classroom, there in the course. But now, after a decade later, what was that for me back then? And what I most appreciated is like me chose to be part of that, and me myself sent my body there every week, no matter what, the commitment that I made. And the third, that the teacher holding the space for us in a way that I later join her class again, according to my needs that I become more aware of. So, and one way to look at that personal experience that I had through the class is that taking the time for self is such an important thing. I thought that I was having enough time for me, but with the clear intentional creation and connection to self is such a powerful tools to become more aware of self, and such a healing at the same time. If we are not aware of the needs of the healing, but underneath of the awareness, that deeper layer, when we are ready to peeling off that cover, or we just becoming more aware, ready to shedding some skins according to the growth, then that's such a wonderful tool I gained from there, and that became a habit. And so thankful for that class and classmate and the teacher, Kelly Morgan. She continuously teaching the class, and I so appreciate it. If you're interested in to learn about what she does, Google Kelly Morgan or life, creative life, and then you get her work, and she now teaches online. So that became my habitat to connecting to myself and sharing what I was doing to my people in the circle with a mutual interest, who is willing to become more aware of self and grow as the person who explore more true north, success, joy, happy, the self-empowering growth, self-help. So I started to hold a space for those who are in a mutual interest. This is an ongoing process, and this is guided me here as a podcast each week to take a moment together. I'm doing this for myself. I'm so helpful for me to connect to myself, and I'm so grateful for if you can use this, my voice, as your one of the connecting time for yourself together. And thank you again for listening. So let us start the conscious breathing exercise. This is the quickest mindfulness exercise being current. Where I came from, the culture Far East Japan, I remember that there isn't always meditative practice without mentioning this is the mindfulness exercise or meditation time. In the Western cultures, it's quite indifferent and taking the time to practice meditation. However, we are such a mixture of the meditation and everything else in Far Eastern culture, Japan. So it was surprising factor that people taking the time and practicing meditation. It's like, gee, this is like we do every day in a daily living, in betweenness. However, it's nice to dedicate feature in that we do everyday things with the intention that makes special and that bring a more effectiveness to our everyday, one moment by moment dedication to each day experience. So that's one of the reasons that I promote meditation and mindfulness exercise with no effort, like no extra time to take. And taking the time to connect in ourselves is really good. Just like a date, taking ourselves to the date, to getting to know self, how we grow so much in which area, how are we doing in some particular area. It just, that's the thing, but it's quite different from a meditative state. And the meditation I like to combine with that reconnecting to our self moments, dedication that I recommend you to do, because we are changing whether we like it or not. As long as we live life on earth as a person growing, it's natural thing. So catching up as a plan do see in the marketing terminology, but it's that making sense that how far we came from that journey and reviewing what we would like to experience for the next stage. That's a natural process of taking care of ourselves, each part, body, mind, what we think and what we feel, alignment, how excited, feel happy in dedicating to our own life experience or not, and then finding a way to improve for the bettering. So then doing that breathing exercise along with that is practical to me. Taking the 2 hours of meditation, going to the mountainside, that's wonderful. I would like to book that schedule for the next vacation time. However, that's one thing. But I would like to practice the muscle that we can do every day before the work, before the important meeting, before the big presentation, before something, to be fully aligned to the highest power that we can become here at this present moment, and to dedicate to accomplish something, one of these moments. So for that, we like to connect each part of us in the most natural sense of self and make ourselves available, reconnecting each part of us with the breathing, which we do all of the time, consciously and unconsciously. So consciously dedicated using that breath and to aligning in that mindfulness state with the eyes open, wide awake. Again, most of the daily work or daily activity, our eyes are open. Otherwise, it's very challenging to see what's happening, to respond, to create something in ideal way. So why not practicing mindfulness with open eyes? Does that make sense? So let us breathe in and out 3 times, dedicating to each small pieces of moments and the sensation in taking all the air, oxygen around you from the nose, in taking into the body, bringing in and keep it in your lungs and stomach, and let that out slowly with no longer serving whatever event, memories, people, pains, anxiety, whatever that you carry with you, no longer serving for the next step, better in, and let it out completely from that mouth with that air. So we do this 3 times. And one thing I would like you to get relaxed and sip in your favorite drinks and comfortable, besides noticing how comfortable you are with the noticer you, observer self. That mode is actively observing, relaxing you, air intaking you, letting all that go, you observe, and then notice what your body is responding or non-responding to the air you're taking into your body. So in a sense that you're relaxing doing it, however, some part is quite busy observing. Okay? It sounds very complicated, but doing it is a lot easier. So shall we start doing that meditative state? Quickest meditation, mindfulness exercise. Allow my voice guide your attention. Let us take a long, deep breath, counting 3, 1 from the nose. Go. Hold it. Keep it in your stomach. And let it out slowly from the mouth. Again, let me count 3 in taking all the air around you, energy around you from the nose, and in taking into the lungs and bring that down to the stomach. And imagine what if you have a balloon inside of your trunk, and make that big as much as you can, and notice how inside of your skin, inside of your rib cage is responding to the balloon inside. And let that out slowly, along with no longer serving whatever, as a cleansing. Let that out from the mouth. Okay? Let us take a long, deep breath, eyes open, wide awake. Go. No longer serving energy to be out. So notice which part of your physical body is responding when you're intaking the new energy. Which part? Just observe, or non-resonating. Just notice how your physicality is responding to the new energy you're intaking from your nose. Ready? With the silence. And this last one, let that no longer needing energy from the mouth with the sound of out, using the vocal to remind us that we are releasing, you are releasing, no longer serving everything from your beingness, from your body, with the sound of your voice. Alright? So let's do that. Let us take a long, deep breath, open eyes and go now. Thank you for taking your time for yourself, for conscious breathing exercise, quickest meditation, connecting mindfulness state here, now. I am Ami, the intuitive energy management advisor at Let Me See What We See. How you feel? I would like you to just notice how your body is responding. Noticing my body, it's typically left side, my shoulder is getting the attention. When I intake in the air, and then that particular muscle of my left shoulder is almost like a cracking, stretching, cracking. As if I can hear the sound of it's like a stretching with responding. It's like a ooh. So that reminds me that it would be nice for me to stretch that shoulder muscle a little bit. How about yourself? The body is telling you lots of messages, and sometimes we are too busy to connect to our body. Just like a car, when we are using every time, but it's nice to check tires and oils, and not only just the fuels. Fuels is just like a food. We eat it well to get energized and get going when we become hungry, and then we need food, just like a fuel, right? However, it's nice to check other parts, like connection. It's appreciation to that healthy ride, which is the body. So checking what we eat is an energy fuel, and then also stretching and the legs and other part. Just to notice, give a conscious attention. It's showing appreciation to physicality about beingness. So taking the time using this conscious breathing exercise for that, it's a multitasking short moments of breathing, but this is such an effective practical exercise. Like we are kind of aligned to a sense of self, open to neutral sense. I noticed that myself is more open to thought, body, and feeling in the centered, in a sense. How about you? Just give your attention to each part of you. If your mind is going to somewhere else, tomorrow's meetings or appointment or event or yesterday's sour experience, or it's just the here and now. You deserve your attention. Each part of you, your non-physical energy, your thought, your creativity, your physicality, and your feeling, your spirit is deserving your attention. So let us connect here to celebrate your well-beingness. Thank you. Today's focus I would like to give is the body-mind relation awareness season, the energy management point of view, that getting to know about the connection of the physical, non-physical energy of our beingness will help us become more aware of which way to redirecting the energy will give us more fulfilling beingness. And today's particular focus is the purpose-driven life approaches. The purpose-driven, I'm a purpose freak actually, and it feels like there must be a purpose, since I was a child. Like the purpose freak is like the pro con. The con is that always gotta find a purpose. Without purpose, not so dedicated to that. But the purpose is to have just a joy. That's an important purpose. So the idea is that how you can make that purpose of approaches is to be open to that available purpose, And that is actually not only a purpose freak is bringing any benefit, it's the bringing the health on life path. The health is the purpose is that is an energy center, is the seventh energy center related. It's the intellectual, non-physical, but energetic part of self. We have the power to create imaginations and to create the wishes and all these ideas and dreams and the goals and, the willing to experience bring that idea to the earthy creation, build that idea as an shareable format with others. So that area of the intellectual and the sense of moving forward, that purpose-driven is such an important aspect to our health. When we are so engaging into everyday task, like a checklist, check. Are you familiar with the checklist freak? I am also the one. Action list, creating the action list to scratching that, it's done. It's such a satisfying feeling. There's a satisfaction of making, that's the psychological satisfaction we can get as a human. And using that is effective, however, when we just engage in that action, and then it's addicted to action-driven. So that purpose is quite different from action. Action's supposed to fulfill that purpose, So that when the action list becomes the purpose, it's quite different to healthy alignment, what I'm hearing. So Dr. Mona Lisa's card I would like to share here today is the healthy goals. Healthy goals. Here is an unhealthy thought pattern. I don't have what my true life calling is. I don't know what my true life calling is. Are you familiar with that? Gee, I'm telling you, this is hard. This is a hard period. I suppose here and there people visit that state of the thought pattern, perhaps. It comes to me when we accomplish some stages or goals, like a graduation, and for the next. Some people are really good at setting the next goal. And I'm kind of not so practically setting the next goal. It's just focusing on one goal and then achieved, yes, and then a break. What else is the next? So that in between interval, I found myself to be engaging with this thought pattern. I don't know what my true life calling is. Or you are feeling something that unsatisfaction, started to feel that energy being in the everyday environment. It's funny that some people, sometimes we feel there's no negative reasons, but we just feel it because we've grown up, and then we seek for a grown up matching environment. So if that's the case, I'm happy with the work, I'm happy with the position, I'm happy with my clients, what I do, and what I paid, and the life is wonderful. But I don't know what my true life calling is. Are you familiar with that? That it sucks too. So when we feel that feeling, thought, and then here is the affirmation, according to Dr. Mona Lisa's suggestion. Through contemplation, introspection, and completion, I can find out what my next step and true calling is. By attending to details and organizing my life, my vocation will become clear. Through contemplation, introspection, and completion, I can find out what my next step and true calling is. By attending to details and organizing my life, my vocation will become clear. I like to get into the detail about what Dr. Mona Lisa is sharing here. In the thousands of medical intuitive readings I've done since 1989, Dr. Mona Lisa is a physician, medical doctor, psychiatrist, and PhD in neuroscience, and she practices at the hospital in Maine since back in 80s, and then sharing her findings and study through the relationship with the body and mind. When you have some issue on the physical body, and then that particular non-physical element of us, such as feeling and the thought pattern, is related to that the physical body. So learning about the relationship will help us guide into more healthy alignment as a person, as a human being. So here is her teachings, and I'd like to use this as an idea for us to become more aware of body-mind relation, so that we can utilize this information for a better in our well-beingness. In the thousands of medical intuitive readings that I've done since 1989, I found that the most common issue that disputes someone's health is lack of purpose. That's what Dr. Mona Lisa is saying. Many people go through life with no defined sense of purpose. Although there is some fulfillment in pleasing our spouse and family, we all have some other role and identity that changes the world in some way. Defining one's life purpose may be hard to do if we are distracted by everyone's needs. Here's some steps to help us define our true missions. This is so true that we are so occupied serving other people's needs, like family members and the work and checklist, gotta do this, do that. And then pleasing our purpose, supposing family, loved ones and family, when your loved one feels happy, and that will make me happy. Your parents happy, you're a good boy, you're a good girl. Are you familiar with that, where you came from? If you came from similar as mine, and so that people around you are happy, you make people happy, and then that will make you happy. That's kind of dangerous. That is also purpose. However, defining one's own life purpose and to do if you are distracted by everyone's needs. So if we are distracted by everybody's needs, the work or client, and then what about your needs, true purpose? Here's some help. Defining the true mission, your true mission. Especially if you notice yourself as a people pleaser, this is a good idea. Introspection. Remove distractions by planning a weekend retreat. Send the family on the mini vacation or go away on yourself. Without the external interference, we are more likely to hear our soul's purpose. Yeah, if you are always with your family member, always with loved ones, always with kids, parents, need that a long time. Treat yourself as a VIP. Here is the beginning, good beginning. Every week we connect and taking the time for yourself. Thank you. I truly thanking you for taking care of your VIPness. Completion. Create a life resume by listening our past goals and achievements. What skills do we have? What are we drawn to learn more about? Completion. Create the life's resume by listening our past goals and achievement. What skills do we have? What are we drawn to learn more about? This is a good stage, completion. We must complete, graduate, and become clear about what we learned from there and what we are drawn to learn more about. Proceeding, something that you are drawn to, not punishing yourself to become more better. That's a huge difference. Never force, but notice which part you're drawn to. Organize and attend to details. if we cannot clearly see what our life purpose is, we need to get a counselor or coach who will help us assess our skills and talents. That coach can help us build the roadmap toward greater fulfillment and purpose. What I found is that I was open to my guidance without thinking, but allow my guidance put myself into the particular class, which happened to be the self-empowering group coaching kind of class. Without expectation, I was guided to become clear about these 3 points. Introspection. So taking the time to really connect in each part of us. And this is a very intimate process, getting to know. And I was amazed at how supportive environment is holding the key. And completion. This is a sense of accomplishment, achievement, and then from there to redirecting for the next step. Which I found that my weakness is to accomplish, yay, and then what's next? Interval. So that connecting to be open and guided is very crucial. And organize and attend to details. This is on the hardest actually, to get to know clearly the life purpose. Maybe that to get to know, allow the purpose become clear is a moving target too, because we become more aware, more clear, and allowing that to change and transform, being open to it. Sometimes we just disciplined enough to stay with the goal we chose, so sometimes it's nice to be that outer source to go through that process. Hiring a coach is the one step, or joining the group coaching that I organize is one step. According to your personality and your preference, find the one that you will fit comfortable, and to be free to train your hidden muscles and become clear for the better next, greater fulfillment and purpose. Managing each part of yourself. I am organizing online class. Become clear. Become more aware about non-physical energy, about us, about you. Your thought pattern, emotion, once become aware of that, we can manage as an energy to use it for a better creation. If you're interested in, sign up the invitation list at www.livewithclarity.com, livewithclarity.com. Look forward to walking out with you. I'm Ami, that intuitive energy management advisor. I see you next time. Until then, you have a wonderful creation and live with clarity. Thanks for joining. Bye.